Okay, so there are 5 steps. Hi, we are the ARC, an international mastermind for purpose-driven individuals who want to build something in their lives that inspires themselves and others. So if you are up for some badass personal growth exercises, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and let's start. Okay, so it's a conflict and it's your team, 6 to 9 people in your startup or elsewhere. Maybe someone isn't doing the job they're supposed to be doing. Maybe someone is not living up to the leadership that is expected of them. Maybe someone's being negative. Everybody talks about it behind closed doors and you really want to do something but you don't know what? Well, even if you're not a certified mediator or haven't studied conflict resolution, these 5 steps will help your team get unstuck. Please note that this is not a philosophical training session around how to theoretically solve conflicts, but it's going to be suspiciously practical. So if that's what you're up for, listen on. Let's start with step number 1. This is where we build trust in order to surface any decision-relevant information that otherwise wouldn't surface. You form groups of 3. You go into a different room and you pick one lucky starter to begin the process. That person talks for 5 minutes without stopping about how am I feeling? How am I feeling about my work, this team, myself on the team? And what challenges me? What do I find hard? Yeah, and the others listen. The others don't comment, but they are allowed to take notes. Now, after 5 minutes, the starter turns around and now it's their time to shut up and let the other people talk. We suggest to reserve 20 minutes for that. And the others talk about 4 pretty relevant questions. First question, what is really going on? So this is the invitation for you to be the hobby psychologist that we all are anyways, and share what do you think are the root causes for the other person feeling comfortable or uncomfortable. Second question, what does this person fear? Why do we ask this? Well, if we experience ourselves vulnerable, we actually empathize, and we will need quite some empathy for the questions and steps to come. Third question, how does having this fear make this person a great person? Here you find answers. Maybe the person is stressed and fears exhaustion. Well, then that's probably a person who really wants to do a good job. Maybe this person is anxious about the team culture. Yeah, well, maybe this is a very sensitive person with a great talent to see even the subtleties of communication, which, by the way, is fabulous in negotiations, for instance. And here's really your task to give a heartfelt booster to that one person that has just been speaking for so long. And now comes the last and final question. What does the group need to know? Yes, the words in that circle should be kept confidential, but the most important abstract points actually must be carried on. So once you've got all these 4 questions answered, the starter turns around again and states if there are any points that are not okay to be raised in the group. And the rest of you 2, you basically accept no discussion. And also, by the way, please do refrain from giving feedback to your team members as to how correct they were with their analysis of that other person's inner world. If we create an atmosphere of being judged, we are going to be less open in the next round, and we don't want that. So yeah, you can easily guess now the next person starts talking, and so with 3 people, you will need 3 times 25 minutes. Ta-da! And that is already the whole magic of step number 1. Step 2, you go back into the room. That's the easiest step of all. Step 3, you make an agenda of all the things you have to discuss. And by the way, here comes a little warning, because step 4 is not only the most difficult, but also the longest of all steps. So if you have any questions regarding step 4, let me know in the comments below. Step 4 is you discuss. You discuss all the points that you feel the group has to talk about. And I will quickly cover why this is so hard and what the heck you can do about this being so hard. So why is this so hard? Essentially because people trigger the heck out of each other. Please recognize this. Please don't say, but I'm not triggered by this idiot, because you are. Picture two people who have differing opinions but who don't trigger each other. How do they differ from you and your team? They don't have a conflict. It's as simple as that. And being triggered is a challenge because it does two things to people. First of all, we stop asking smart questions. And second of all, we stop listening concisely. Famous example, two sisters fighting for an orange. What do? Most commonly, people would say, I cut the orange in half. And interestingly enough, this is actually a suboptimal outcome, because here's what the real conflict managers ask. They ask, mark my words, what about that thing is it that you really, really want, that is so important for you? In brackets, what is it about that orange that is so important for you? And it turns out that one sister wants the juice and the other sister wants the peel for the cake. Now, this is a smart solution, but it requires that you postpone your trigger. You can't just get angry and shout at someone or hit someone or just take the orange, let's say. But you also can't just withdraw into your fear and shut up, because you would never have asked that smart question. So what can you do about this being so hard? For every point on your agenda, you ask, what do you want? And through that, you're getting the positions of different people. Then you postpone any fight or flight response and you ask, what is it about that position that is important for you? And by asking that, you're going from the very concrete positions to the more underlying and fluffy interests and needs. And this is where the magic happens. Because oftentimes we are not compatible on the level of positions. We both want the orange. But we are compatible when we talk about interests and needs. I want the peel for the cake. I want the juice. Yay! And then we brainstorm. We brainstorm options, solutions that we can implement to satisfy not the positions, but the interests and needs. Here's an example from my coaching that happened very recently. I was coaching a team with a COO, let's call him Daniel, who was working 4 times faster than everybody else in his team and had this very strong thing of going, you guys, you have to work more effectively. We ask, what do you want? He goes, I want to leave the office earlier. We ask, what about that is important for you? And he goes, I want to spend more time with my family. Now, there are 2 learnings here. First of all, he wasn't even pissed with his colleagues being less productive than him. And second, really what his underlying needs and interests were was to spend more time with his family, to get more out of his 24 hours. And then we started to brainstorm. And here are 3 options that his amazing team came up with. First of all, why don't you check out at 18 o'clock, have dinner with your family, and then check back in at 20 o'clock just in case there's an emergency and we urgently need to call you? Second solution, how about you tell us really concisely what it is that you need from us as a team before 18 o'clock so that then you can lightheartedly just disappear? And third solution, and that was probably the best of all, was it actually turned out there was a huge misunderstanding where Daniel, the COO, feared that he would not be respected properly if he didn't stay long hours in the office, whilst actually the opposite was happening, that the team started to disrespect him because they felt how stressed he was about not being able to leave early. So the third solution was actually, you know what, just Daniel, when you feel you have to take care of your family, just disappear. Cool. Did this make sense to you? If yes, let me know in the comments. If no, and you have further questions, also let me know in the comments. Step 5, you make an agreement. You make a plan of all the things that you are going to agree on from now. And guess what? It's better to be specific. Something like, hey, let's all be friends again, isn't likely to work. Instead, what is way better is if you have a concise thing along the lines of, Okay, Daniel can check out at 18 o'clock, have dinner, be back at 20 o'clock for urgent phone calls, and in return, we'll get a coach to help him master his anger outbursts because, hey, these are really hard to handle. Is this the only possible solution to fix this conflict? No, but it is a solution that worked for them. Important. At some point in the process, there will be a moment where you all have to sign that bloody agreement and look each other in the eyes and say yes to all the points in the agreement that your yes is required for. Now, don't say yes if you're not feeling a yes. Most conflicts, in my experience, happen because someone somewhere in the hierarchy chooses to shut up and not voice what needs to be voiced. And the truth is, at some point, we are all responsible for our own happiness. So if we are not feeling yes and still saying yes, there's no way your team can save you. So if you're not feeling it, don't say yes and continue to brainstorm innovative solutions until everybody's needs are met. Yay! And that's it. These are the 5 steps. So in case you want to really get that going, I have summarized them all in a guide, which we will link below the video as soon as the guide is ready. And hey, if you had fun watching this video, but you know you want to take it a step further and really build something in your life that inspires yourselves and others, whether that's your own company, a passion project, or just finding a niche within your current organization that really rocks you, dare to get in touch with us for one of our boot camps or coachings through signing up for a coffee chat, which are our 45 to 60-minute free coaching conversations with one of our team members, where we will sit down with you to chat about what the heck is holding you back and how you can turn your biggest passions, talents, and values into something that sweeps you off your feet. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want more personal growth exercises like these, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. And if you know someone who is an amazing person but stuck in a beautiful, beautiful team conflict, dare to share this video with them. Probably it's going to be much appreciated. And let me know in the comments what you want to watch next.
I want to watch next something on conflict management. Oh, really? Really?